Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com. Now, last week there was a British invasion at a 19th Special Forces warfare group at a National Guard base in Utah. These women converged on there and attacked these men. It was crazy. Women in bikinis everywhere, bouncing up and down, shooting guns and driving tanks. Yes, the tyranny is real, and it's happening in Utah. Now, members of the Utah's National Guard 19th Special Forces group allegedly hosted sexy British swimsuit models at their compound. Now, the deviation from their mission to train for paramilitary operations has been met with an investigation. Yes.
Having my ride. Yes! Whoa!
Yes, an investigation by the National Guard. And they're going to do this internally, I'm sure, because being a former soldier myself, I know we like to get to the bottom of things, especially when those things are British models. This year we're shooting the calendar in Utah. In the US of A, British model Rosie Jones says at the introduction of the video, which was posted on YouTube last week. We've got loads of tanks, boats, and loads of guns. So these women are ready to come in here and use up all of our equipment and take these Special Forces guys' attention away from the terrible ISIS threat that is lurking its head around every corner. Meanwhile, our Special Forces and men in uniform are more focused on the lush mountains in Europe that have traveled all the way into Utah at the National Guard compound. Whew.
Because I'm only small, they've given me the minigun.
Okay, go ahead and hit that button. The Utah National Guard put out a statement regarding its investigation that reads in part, use of military equipment, facilities, and personnel in civilian for-profit endeavors such as this requires approval of National Guard Bureau of Public Affairs through the respective state National Guard headquarters. There was no official approval for this project. The investigation will determine if Utah National Guard equipment, facilities, and personnel were used to shoot this scantily clad Hot Shots 2015 calendar with extremely beautiful women. Because there's no way in hell that the Special Forces men in uniform who deploy all the time and fight the bad guys for America would anyway allow these beautiful women from Britain to come over and shoot their guns and play on their equipment. That would never happen. Utah's Democratic House Minority Leader Jennifer Sealing was quick to voice her disapproval of any participation by the Utah soldiers, saying it flies in the face of any progress we've made in the military and that we're using women not for their minds but for their bodies. ISIS isn't on its way. It's here. Ebola isn't on its way here. It's here now. And these beautiful British models are no longer on their way. They're here. They've landed at the Utah National Guard base. And I promise you, I will continue to bring updates on this story as they unfold. Now, I know the National Guard's not quite equipped to deal with Ebola in West Africa, but I am willing to bet my entire life that they're willing to deal with this and do a very deep, thorough investigation into all of these women and find out whether or not there's any guilt to be had. Once again, I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com.
globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs, sourced from powerful organic herbs, and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality.